Welcome back to the show, everyone. In the last episode, Mio here is rightly pissed since we accidentally knocked her into the hot springs, and now she apparently wants a match.
This is a perfect opportunity. Sometimes your greatest strength can become your own worst enemy. Get in here, Takahiro. We will spar like this knee-deep in water. This will be a fine test of your skills.
The girl made her way to the edge of the water and grabbed a discarded mop. It took a lot of willpower not to glance at her soaked figure as her clothes clung to her body. I eventually made it into the water, taking a defensive stance as she moved back toward the center of the pool.
Narumi, if you interfere, I will inform Elder Sama of the fate of his dearly beloved old teddy bear. The one you used as a... La 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 la, no one has to hear anything! Fine, I'll stay put. You need to summon all your body from the water once Takahiro-kun's done with you anyway.
That's Narumi's noodle incident. Now I'm very curious.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up!
Isn't that all blackmail, Mio?
Oh, it's blackmail, all right. Now prepare yourself.
The attack came a lot faster than I had anticipated. The wooden shaft aimed squarely at my midsection and hit me straight and hard, knocking me back a few steps. I hissed as the pain of the impact spread, flexing my arms out. Mio sloshed forward, waves of water splashing aside as she stomped onward. I pushed myself upwards, dodging another strike to my left.
Go, go, Takahiro-kun!
I moved in closer, trying to make her thrusts less effective thanks to the length of the mop handle, and aimed a blow toward her shoulder. To my surprise, she took the hit without moving an inch.
If you're not going to put everything you have into this, you might as well stop calling yourself a man.
Ow. My eyes narrowed a little, and I pulled back as a wide strike sought to slam into my side. Growling, I felt my anger flare. I quickly lashed out, smacking the mop handle away forcefully, and used the opportunity to get close once more. I managed to land a few jabs against her midsection and one to her shoulder before darting backward as best I could in the water. She appeared winded for a moment or two, but before she spun the mop in her hands, pushing forward again.
Takahiro-kun! Takahiro-kun! Takahiro-kun!
Her next strike was a downward slash, which I caught between my hands. With a grin, I pulled hard on the stick and flung my foot upwards in an attempt to land a kick. She did the only sensible thing and let go of the mop, which let me toss it aside with ease. A swordswoman without a sword can't hope to beat an experienced martial artist. This match is lost. Surrender.
I suppose I have no choice.
As soon as she said that, she spun around, lashing her leg upward in a roundhouse kick that caught my jaw, knocking me back and almost landing me on my rear.
Overconfidence gets you killed. The fight isn't over until your opponent is down.
She stood in front of me, her fists raised in a stance I did not recognize. It was that if she was quicker without a weapon than with, I didn't stand a chance of beating her. Her kicks were powerful as the ache in my jaw reminded me, and she had plenty of stamina to go off of. The only way I could stop her was to use that. That's not the only way to win a fight, you know. I stepped forward purposefully. I didn't need to attack her just to get in close. A few steps and I had her right where I needed her, cornered her and unable to get past me. I took another step as she darted to one side, trying to get past my blockade. I'm sorry, I know where this is going. I can feel it. I looped an arm around her waist and braced myself for the counterattack I knew would follow. My left leg applied pressure against her knees, sending her down onto them, while my other arm grabbed her arms high above her head, my weight pressed against her body.
No! Yay! Takahiro-kun used the submission hold!
I held her tightly, but not enough to cause pain. All I had to do was to lower my right hand, which in return would put pressure on her body. I did so, slowly, showing her just what she was up against. Do you give up?
Fine, you win!
I grinned widely, chuckling to myself. I slowly helped her to her feet, gradually releasing my hold. Try not to struggle when I release you, otherwise... But it was too late. Before I had a chance to warn her about the problem with that particular hold, she pulled away from my grip. The angle of her arms and the tightness of my arm around her waist caused her clothes to tighten as she pulled away. Blood circulation had a tendency of getting cut off, occasionally causing people to faint. In this case, however, it was her clothes that paid the price for her impatience. Those things are very squishy. She must have, like, jello boobs.
Wow.
That's gotta hurt
wow.
if you would actually position your arms like
exactly.
that.
What are breast organs? There's all sorts of shit in there, guys.
As the girl turned to face me, her clothes tore, scattering into tiny pieces in the wind. Time seemed to slow to a halt as Mio looked down at herself, let out a scream, and just barely managed to cover herself.
Mio! You!
I tried to warn you. I swear this isn't some kind of secret judo technique or anything.
You stay back! Narumi? Yes, Mio-chan? Please get me a change of clothes. Yes, right away. I'll be back as soon as possible. I promise.
For some reason, I'm feeling less like a hero and more like a villain. Narumi quickly rushed off, leaving Mio and myself to ourselves. Ugh. It felt different from last night. I felt like I was walking on thin ice, as though one wrong word and she would begin to resent me the same way she resented the spirits.
Oh, I already resent you.
I'm sorry, I really didn't mean for it to end up like this. It was an accident.
So you found my weakness?
What? No, I swear it was just an accident. That hold usually just makes your clothes tighter.
Not that. I can't move. I have perfected every area of being cool and unrelenting except nakedness. It's embarrassing.
I don't think you have anything you need to hide. I mean, you should be proud of your body.
It's not that. The thought of people staring at me makes me feel dizzy, like I can barely think. I actually admire that about Narumi. She doesn't have a single ounce of shame in her.
Well, I think Narumi-chan would be the exception. Most girls would probably get embarrassed at being seen naked. I'm sure Narumi-chan will be here with your clothes soon.
I am not most girls. I shouldn't get incapacitated this easily. It's infuriating. I lose all control of myself.
I'm not sure, but maybe it's something you'll be able to train. A weakness to overcome.
Can we do it now? Perhaps if you see...
Yeah, sure. I mean, okay. She began stammering uncontrollably, blushing from ear to ear, unable to finish her sentence. I began to panic. I had never seen a girl get this worked up before. I think it would be better if you asked Narumi-chan about that.
But that won't work. I don't get like this when there are only girls around.
I guess, but I felt as though every male in both worlds were cursing me for my indecisiveness. At this very moment, a pretty girl stood before me, suggesting that I look at her naked, all for the sake of making her less embarrassed in the future. How could I call myself a man if I declined such an invitation? But are you really okay with me?
I can't think of anyone else to do it. Please, Takahiro, look at me.
Was this really happening? If it was, this was the best type of training I had ever experienced. As Mio began to move her arm, I turned my head. Unfortunately, at that very moment, the doors slammed open and in walked Meiko and Machiko wrapped in towels.
It was nice of Elder-sama to allow us to use the baths. It'll be nice to... Takahiro? Takani and the Tsundere Tyrant are doing naughty things.
Wait, this is not what it looks like, I swear.
Ah!
And with that, the girl fainted again, slipping into the water before I had a chance to react. It took a considerable amount of effort to convince the others that nothing unholy had taken place. Thanks to Narumi's testimony, coupled with Mio's apparent habit of freezing, they believed me. However, as I turned to leave, Narumi dragged me off to the side. It seemed like she wanted me to come see her later that evening in return for saving my hide. I couldn't really see a way for me to weasel out of that one, so I reluctantly agreed. That evening, I excused myself and made my way to Narumi's home, knocking lightly on the door. Hey, Narumi-chan, are you in there?
Just a moment. The door's open, but don't come in yet.
Curious, I found myself wondering what the girl had planned. Perhaps she was preparing a meal or something to surprise me with? Some sort of present? Or maybe she just wanted to talk. Whatever the reason might have been, Narumi's voice once again sounded from within the house.
Okay, you can come in now, Takahiro-kun.
Feeling kind of excited, I opened the door and walked in, the door sliding shut behind me. The room was darker than I remembered, and it occurred to me to hunt for a light. Foolishly, I began searching for a light switch when I remembered that something like that was unlikely to exist here. I managed to locate a small lamp and a nearby box of matches, lighting it with ease.
Turn around, Takahiro-kun.
Ah. That isn't all that sexy to me. She just looks messy. I turned around and my eyes bulged. Standing before me was Narumi, only she seemed to be dripping. Taking in the view... Oh, I wonder if it's chocolate. That would color this differently. Taking in the view, I let out a shriek. For a moment, I expected to see the slime girl, but then I noticed the smell of chocolate in the air. Oh, good call, me. Please tell me you're not possessed by some kind of chocolate spirit. I instinctively found my eyes drifting along Narumi's chocolate-coated figure, trying to find any sign that a spirit should be involved. When I found none, I felt myself growing increasingly nervous.
Course not, silly. Don't you like it? Don't you think it suits me, all sweet and delicious?
Well, I mean, you're sweet and all, and not just because of the chocolate. What in the world happened?
Thank you. Don't worry about the little details. Do you want a taste?
Taste?
Yeah, that's what I was told anyway. You put something tasty on your body and you let someone else eat it. That's how you get close to people in your world, right? I think it was called intimate...
Oh, hold on. Did someone tell you to do this? Because you do realize there's no way this won't turn into a I stuttered as Narumi stepped closer, her pose causing me to swallow, trying my best to resist the temptation. At this rate, getting a stomachache from eating all that chocolate would be the least of my worries.
What's wrong, Takahiro-kun? Don't you want to be friends? Or don't you like chocolate? I have some honey, too, if you'd prefer that.
I love chocolate, but I don't think honey will be any better.
I don't get it. What's wrong? Is it because it's me? I bet Mio or Chi-chan did something like this. You'd be eating away right now.
The day Mio-san coats herself in chocolate is the day pigs fly.
Yeah, she'd never do something like this. But I still don't get why you're not enjoying this. Did I do something wrong?
Narumi-chan, you see, this is usually something people do when, you know...
Wow. So I guess I messed up pretty big, didn't I? I'm gonna kick that shrine spirit's butt next time I see her. Ugh!
Wait, shrine spirit? Did Tsuyuri put you up to this?
Yeah, she told me this would help us bond or something.
Well, I guess we shouldn't let all that chocolate go to waste.
Narumi, I need to talk to you about what the hell is going on in here?
Your vice captain is possessed by a chocolate spirit.
Chocolate. Do I look like an idiot? This is because of earlier, isn't it? No, it's not, I promise. Someone just gave me a really, really, really bad advice. Really? Well then, allow me to give you some good advice. Go and get yourself cleaned up now, before anyone sees you like this. Honestly, you're the face of this village. You could have been called to defend it at any moment. Do you think yourself capable in a state like this?
I think most people would...
I am not finished! Narumi, you are sleeping in my spare room tonight. Takahiro, clean up this mess. If you do not complete this task before morning, you will not get to sleep. And if you do not complete this task before breakfast, you will not be getting any breakfast.
That's a bit unfair, isn't it? I sighed, the shouting and angry glares from the samurai girl making me feel a bit too intimidated to decline her commands. As she marched the dejected and still chocolate-coated girl out of the house, shielding her with an old robe, I looked around. It was going to take me hours to get rid of all this chocolate. If Ichikawa ever finds out about this, he's going to give me hell. It had been a week since I came to this world. Wow. Didn't all of that happen within like 2 days? And now we just jump ahead a whole week?
Yeah, I think so.
I spent my days helping out... Oh, thank you, Mr. Exposition. I spent my days helping out around the village and training with Mio and Narumi. I even tried my hand at repairing some of the damage done by Sakura. I still had no clue where I was, but I was enjoying the time spent here. Everything reminded me of things I had read about in the school history books, from the buildings to the people. I looked at the nearby girls and let out a sigh. The history books never said anything about fox girls or spirits. There were mentions of them in various religious texts, but they weren't real. So, you're sure this wedding sash will be able to get me back to my world? In the end, Meiko had been able to research the spell even further, made huge progress over the past few days.
Suyuri was able to provide some details. She believes that the spell will return something to where it belongs. I suppose it's worth a try. It will work! I know it will! I just need some time to prepare.
I'm not sure if I should be grateful or worried. Still, I didn't think you'd be able to figure it out so fast, Mayako-chan.
Yep, magic is super easy. Just a wave and a flash and it's done. Except the time it will take you to prepare the ingredients. Do not underestimate the arcane arts, Mayako-chan. You have a gift. Make sure you treat it with the respect it deserves.
A wave and a flash? I'm not gonna end up exploding into fireworks or something, right?
Absolutely, probably not. I guarantee it. Don't worry, Takani. I won't do anything that'll hurt you. I hope. Unless you happen to be made of clay, glass, wood, or stone. These all seem to shatter when you try to cast the spell on them. Oni-sama, you didn't have to tell him that.
Good thing the human body is mostly made up of water. Let's take a break. I'm feeling a little bit distracted by the younger girl's excitement. I didn't notice a sweat had started forming on my forehead, a sudden dizziness coming over me. Without a warning, I collapsed onto the ground, my breathing heavy and ragged. As my vision faded, the girls ran toward me, shouting my name in concern. How ominous. But we will continue the story in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you next week. I mean, tomorrow.
Wow, you would have made them wait a whole friggin' week?
It's bad when this game is messing with my closings and intros. I already have enough problems doing that.
It's all the boobs.
I'll see you tomorrow for another episode.
Boobs. Baps.